Ted Jones messed with the wrong melon farmers.
Ted Jones, I also call him the eighth wonder of the real estate world.
Ted Jones, who knows, it could be.
Ted Jones?
The Ted Jones World Podcast.
Hello and welcome to the 55th episode of the Ted Jones World Podcast. I am your host, Ted Jones, and yes, on the couch next to me, to the left of me, producer Pat. Pat, how are you? Should we do an air shake?
What's up, man?
Good. Elbow touch, bro. How are you?
Great. How are you?
Dude, I'm great, man. I haven't seen you in 6 months, bro. I'm very excited for this first episode back in the stew. Actually, almost 6 months. Not quite 6 months, but shave my sideburns, shave my face, and I'm feeling really fired up and excited to be back in New York City. How are you, man?
I'm doing great. Shaved my face, shaved my sideburns, and I'm really fired up to be back in New York City.
Yeah, bro. We both got on the Ted Jones World hat, and it kind of looks like we're wearing the same outfit.
We are wearing the same outfit.
We typically are. The Nike socks, the black shorts or black pants, and then the black top.
As you get older, it's like I feel like you kind of switch into that uniform mode, where when you get older, you don't really get very daring with your outfits. You kind of just find a uniform that works for you, and that's just kind of your thing.
I agree, but also if that was a very Bill Gates, Warren Buffett-esque
that's what
thing
it is.
to say.
Larry David,
Jack Dorsey,
he does it.
Larry David, yeah. Just you have so many decisions to make that are important during the day that you just want to keep it as clean and as simple as possible in the morning. So Pat, we didn't shake hands right here on the beginning of the episode. I know I've been talking about wanting to cuddle with you, kiss you, hug you as soon as I saw you, but obviously that was just a lot of talk because, that's not cool in 2020, bro. People can't do that.
I was going to do the pod with the mask on because, like I said, I don't know where you've been. You've been gone for 6 months.
Right, that's true, but we've talked enough to know that each other have been safe, correct?
Yeah.
And also, I've noticed that you haven't really looked at me, too, when you've been speaking to me. You don't want to spread the germs directly towards my face, and I guess I'll kind of do that too. But Pat is negative. You're also just very cool, calm, and collected right now. You came over to the studio in Crocs, just ready to film, very relaxed.
They're on turbo mode too. Got to flip that thing over.
It looks good. So, dude, those look like they're Crocs, but they look like those new Yeezys.
It's because they're like a desert, they're like an earth tone, which Kanye's really into.
What are those new ones that Kanye's coming out with?
He comes out with a new sneaker every week.
So, did you see Kanye peeing on his Grammy the other night too? By the way,
No.
Okay, well, Kanye West is vouching for everyone to get their masters, and he just doesn't want music labels to own their artists really anymore. Seems like they've been getting themselves into a mess of deals over the last X amount of years since artists have even been a thing and since they've been signed. So Kanye is vouching for all artists to own their own crap. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you don't really need a record label anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
You just make mixtapes, put them online, and then once you can produce, you make a bunch of money off the mixtapes, and then you produce your own album and put it on Spotify.
So I guess what the real issue was, back in the day, was promoting yourself and getting yourself its own album and producing it and then getting yourself
promotion
to shows.
Was the big thing, yeah.
Right, but now Instagram, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify is free. Whatever. You guys are listening, watching right now. It's all free, hopefully. I mean, send money if you may at Ted Jones Venmo, at Pat Charmel Venmo, but whatever. So, Pat, as I say every episode, a lot has changed. And especially just greeting people. So I saw this dude at the gym this morning. The gym opened back up. Opened back up.
Yeah.
And it was nice, man. Nobody's in there, but I saw a guy that I usually see. The last time I saw him was 6 months ago, and I think we got a new thing down, man. When you score in basketball and then somebody has a sick assist or something and you point to them when they're leaving on the floor. Yeah. So as I just finished a big chest set, and then I got up and then that guy and I locked eyes and then I just pointed at him. It was very sick.
Why did you why did you point at him? He was just checking you out?
No, I don't know. I feel we had never really had a connecting moment. I'm sure all you people listening and watching have had that moment with that person at the gym that you always see, but people don't really talk to each other at the gym because you're kind of doing your own thing. But I feel after 6 months, I haven't seen this guy. He obviously has been keeping up with the gym, And I wear the Ted Jones World hat like every time I go to the gym now. So I hope he'll listen in. And I don't know his name, but seems like a chill guy. Always wearing that Charlotte Hornets basketball hat. Usually a tight Nike shirt, some tight spandex. But he looks good. He's an athletic looking dude. And I'm surprised that he kept it up over the past 6 months. You know what I'm saying?
Same outfit?
What?
Kept what up?
He kept like his fitness up. And, and also, yeah,
he got his uniform.
Same outfit.
He's got his uniform, like we said. I noticed at the gym, it is weird how you see the same people all like there every day, because everyone usually has their little routine, so you kind of see the same people at the same time every day, and you just don't say hi. Like you can see them every day for a year, and I just have no interest in saying hi to anyone. Like we know we see each other every day, we're never going to acknowledge each other.
Well, especially now with masks. Like now it's like you have a great excuse never to say anything to anybody at the gym.
Yeah, I probably shouldn't be wearing shorts on camera, should I?
What do you mean? You've got nice looking legs.
Yeah,
Why? Can you see the camera here?
What?
Well, I feel like most people
No,
listen
I just feel like
anyway.
that's just a faux pas in
What?
entertainment. You're not really
Not supposed to wear shorts?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Dude, but also remember the faux pas that you were telling me we had when we had the multicolor microphones, and you were like, all right, dude, let's get more professional. Get the black ones. Sorry, what were you saying about shorts?
Also, what I've noticed in entertainment, in interviews, no one ever wears short sleeves, ever. Unless you're a girl and you're wearing like a sleeveless type.
Like hosts, too?
Yeah, I'm saying on TV, not this. Like on
Right.
a professional set. Do you ever, think about it, on late night when people get interviewed?
Right,
Or
no.
during any, I always
Like
notice
Jimmy
that.
Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon.
Like,
Never see arms.
You know that show, Hot Ones on YouTube?
Yeah, the
where they
one
eat the
where
hot
the guy
wings?
eats the hot
yeah,
wings,
they
right.
film that in New York or LA in the summer when it's blazing hot, and I notice they all wear like jackets when they're doing it. They wear like bombers and sweater. No one ever wears short sleeves. I don't understand, even when they're eating really hot wings.
Did you research that on why?
I figured, I don't know, you know a lot of people in the entertainment business. I figured next time I saw your friends, I'd ask.
You pick their brain.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I don't know. Maybe it's because like people would potentially get too distracted from like arm hair or tattoos.
Yeah, I think that might be. That's like, have you ever seen the Curb Your Enthusiasm episode when he's on the airplane and he's sitting next to the guy? He's like, "You're not supposed to wear shorts on the airplane."
Yeah, on the airplane. And then also in that episode, like Larry, I don't know if it was that episode, but Larry's manager just went from California to New York with no magazine, not watching any TV. But that was besides the point. He just sat there.
He's like, you're not going to use anything?
Obviously, Larry had a super big issue with that. So, Pat, the U.S. Open just wrapped up. I'm a big tennis fan, as you know. And I'm happy to say that Naomi Osaka won the women's event. She really deserved it. She was putting on for a number of people who were unjustly killed by police. So she had 7 different masks that she wore each night and each day of her of the U.S. Open. So all 7 masks she made it through. So it was very nice to see. And also her boyfriend, Corday, who's a massive rapper, was super fired up about her winning the tennis tournament. And like I saw all these memes on Instagram. It's like, Corday is super excited after his girlfriend wins a tennis tournament. I'm like, dude, Naomi Osaka made 40 mil last year. She's the biggest female athlete in Japan by far. Probably one of the...
In Japan, probably in the world.
Well, right
now.
That too, but
Well,
also like
Serena,
one of the biggest female athletes in the world right now for sure. She made 40 mil last year. And I don't know, bro. How much money did Corday make last
Probably
year?
not a lot.
He had a good year. You know, he might own his Masters, as we were talking about. So maybe he made a few mil. But anyway, just a disrespect towards your girl, Naomi Osaka, who did a great job. And I was surprised that Serena Williams really didn't speak up. And Naomi Osaka, who's actually half black, came out and spoke on the unjust killings of unarmed black people. So that was actually an impressive move by her because she's super young too. Still, dude, she's 22.
Yeah,
you know, she's not an old age like Serena.
They like asked her afterwards about basically what her goal was wearing, and she didn't really have an answer for it. I felt they kind of put her on the spot. It's like she's just, you know,
she's young, and obviously she was gonna do it. But she also said she was like, I was waiting for. I think she insinuated that she was waiting on Serena. She said I was waiting for somebody else to step out and speak about it. And
in the sport of tennis,
yeah. And then she realized that maybe that was gonna be her. That she was gonna have to be the one to speak up because Serena Williams didn't speak up about it at all.
Serena's corny.
You know,
I'm glad
Serena. You know what?
Thing
Serena Williams, I don't believe, has been a great leader,
ambassador.
An ambassador for women's tennis. Sure, yes, she's one of the greatest female tennis players of all time, but she's no Martina Navratilova. She's no Billie Jean King.
No,
she's
I
no
think-
Chris Evert.
No, definitely not.
You know, Serena has transcended the sport of tennis. The Williams sisters absolutely have transformed the sport of tennis. That's not what I'm getting at. I'm saying just in terms of speaking out. Like you notice now Michael Jordan is speaking out a lot more now than
he got a
did
lot of
during
flack for that
during his
documentary,
career,
though.
right? But do you think that that's what maybe was the turning point for him watching the documentary,
Probably.
and him seeing that maybe he didn't speak about it back in the day?
Yeah, I don't know how genuine it is now, but who knows? But yeah, I think Naomi's just a little more. She's a more of the times champion, so I was glad to see her win and not Serena. Nothing against Serena, but I feel like her time's kind of over.
Right. Well, I mean, she's been on tour for such a long time. So on the men's side, Dominic Thiem and Alexander Zverev had an epic battle. Did you watch this match at all?
Just a little bit.
So Alexander Zverev was up 2-0, and in the men's tennis final, or in the U.S. Open, they play 3 out of 5 sets. Dominic Thiem was down 2-0, came back and won it. It was one of the crazier matches I've ever seen in true 2020 fashion. And then the French Open now is going to start on September 29th, and Rafael Nadal, hopefully after taking the U.S. Open off to rest, will take the French Open. Yeah, man, I had to put rest in quotation marks there because I don't know how,
you think he was doing,
feel
partying?
about that.
You think he was partying?
I don't know, man. I mean, he was definitely resting for sure, but like to skip the U.S. Open.
That's annoying. I hate
to
when
skip the U.S.
that's
Open
annoying.
in order to win the French is
That's
messed
annoying,
up.
dude. You're the biggest name in the sport. You're trying to. Tennis is a sport that's kind of like on the fringe of mainstream. Like people really like it, but it's not quite where the other sports are. And if you're the biggest player in the sport, I feel like you should be playing. I feel like it should be in your contract. Like people got pissed at LeBron and all these other superstars when people were. I don't think LeBron really did. He did it for a little bit, but where they were benching superstars to like save them.
What were they calling it again?
Yeah, I forget. Something time or what was it? I don't know.
What was it?
I forget.
I don't. But obviously making these guys.
But like saving them.
Yes.
It's like, no, you pay. Sports are an entertainment as much as we want to say it's anything more than that, which it represents a lot more than that. But at the end of the day, it's entertainment and people are coming. They're paying their hard-earned money to see people. And then you just don't have your big names playing. I feel like it's just kind of a letdown.
Right. Well, Djokovic was clearly one of the front runners, I think, to win this U.S. Open before he hit that line judge in the neck with the ball directly in the jugular. We spoke on that last week. You said it didn't look that hard, but he crushed the ball. I'm
a layman, so I don't know.
Directly into it. Load management is what it's
Load
called,
management,
Pat.
yep.
Load management,
Load management.
is what it was called. I didn't even look that up. If you guys are watching on here, you'll notice I didn't even look it up.
And I get that. You have to, like someone like LeBron has played without injury at the highest level for what he's in his 15th season or something like that. But at least put him in the game a little bit.
I hear you. So, Lakers still in the playoff mix. Clippers out. They were up 3-1, and everyone is talking noise about Kawhi Leonard. Won it last year with the Raptors, and people were thinking it was going to be an LA Lakers, LA Clippers showdown, and the Clippers could have taken it this year, but Clippers haven't won.
They blew it.
Yeah, Clippers haven't won NBA Finals
ever. They've never been.
That.
They've never been to the Western Conference Finals in franchise history. I believe.
So the Clippers have just had a mess of a dynasty career between having Donald Sterling, the racist owner, a few years ago. You know what's crazy about that? I feel like if that happened in today's world, like 2020. It would have been, obviously, like back in the day, he was removed from being an owner of the LA Clippers, but I could imagine that it would be somewhat different today, whether that would be like an extreme overhaul of all the potential racist owners in the NBA, if there are. But I don't know. I just feel like we would have seen something kind of different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, maybe. Like what? I guess you said the overhaul of racist.
Yeah, but also I could see like LeBron, if Donald Sterling, the owner of the LA Clippers back at the time, a few years back, this is like over 5 years ago, I could see LeBron calling for a boycott all over the NBA, and then they just wouldn't play And tell, what do you mean? Who? LeBron's annoying?
Yeah. You didn't hear that story of
what?
All the players they're starting to hate him just because he's being like a prima donna, and if he doesn't, all the young guys are like, all right, this dude's.
He came out of the So
that was blown out of proportion because they had nothing else to talk about.
That was in the bubble, right?
Yeah.
Can you elaborate on that as much?
He
as
had
you
like
know?
some kind of. They had a meeting where I forget. Oh, he didn't want to play. I think they didn't want to play the next few games or something because of what was going on, and a lot of people did. Younger guys did. He basically
is because of the shooting of Jacob Brown, which is he got
just
shot
of all
7
that
times
in
his back. Yeah.
And I think that's what it was, and everyone else wanted to play, and he basically was talking down to all the younger players, like it was basically his league, which it is, and that he wanted to play and no one else did. And when they basically made the decision that they were going to play, he like kind of pouted and stormed out of the room. So I don't know, man. He's just.
I hear what you're saying about LeBron, but at least he's a leader. He's a leader of the NBA game. I'd say that people.
I don't think he is
for
a
the
leader.
most part. You wouldn't think so? What? You just think he's spoiled?
I don't know. It's a whole other conversation. I don't want to get into it, but
all right. Well,
I flip flop on LeBron a lot. He's just very polarizing.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's true. Pat and I were also talking about doing a single episode topic. So maybe we'll just talk about why Pat hates LeBron on a single topic episode. So Pat, Maya Moore, who is an alumni at our school from UConn, she actually played basketball at UConn for 4 years, was a superstar. She married a man who she freed from jail. The man who she freed from jail spent 23 years in prison for a crime that he did not commit, and Maya Moore had met him through a prison ministry program.
Yeah.
And the following days after he got out, he proposed to her, and now they are getting married, dude. So they have known each other for 13 years. They've, I guess, been pen pals, been visiting each other, and she put her WNBA career on hold. This is like an all-star, a WNBA all-star. If you don't know who Maya Moore is, look it up. She's a fantastic player at UConn all 4 years. She actually won the NCAA championship all 4 years that she was there in college. But a phenomenal player. And this is just like a crazy story. My sister was initially talking about joining one of these programs and like talking to someone in jail who was like younger. And I didn't even know this was fully a thing. And then this story came out. So you heard about this also?
Yeah. Of Maya Moore?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard about it.
Honestly, I don't even, I can't even fathom how this would
And
work.
she hasn't played the last 2 seasons, which I didn't know.
Yeah.
To focus on this.
Right, but like why, I'm confused as to why, was she like going to court dates and stuff? Is that
I have
like
no
what she
idea.
really
All
had
I
to
saw
focus on?
All I saw on the headline was that she took the last 2 seasons off to focus on this, whatever that means.
Yeah, well, God bless her. So
she got that bag from Jordan. She's sponsored by Jordan. She's probably like, whatever.
Yeah, that's why. So she's getting the bag
Yeah.
from Jordan. She didn't really care about the WNBA salary, which is mostly under 6 figures, is it not? I think they're all under 6 figures.
Yeah, I don't know. I think their max contracts are like $400,000, if that.
Oh, really? I don't know if they would be that high.
I don't know. I don't know. It's definitely not $1 million. I don't think anyone makes $1 million.
No, and then I think all of them combined actually make under 15 million.
Yeah,
I remember seeing them.
Some of them get like 60, 70 grand.
Right. So
and they live in like apartments with each other.
Yeah, and then they also, I mean, the ones who are super into basketball are playing overseas and just trying to get, the bag that way, as you've said before.
Like I think at the Connecticut Sun, I think they live in the casino. Because I went to...
Wait. How do you mean? They live in the casino. Is that where the
Connecticut Sun
arena is?
Where the arena is, yeah. So I think they live there because there was these 2 British, I forget their last names, these British twins that went to my high school, and they were insanely good at basketball. They would win like they would have games where they would win like 77 to like the program was terrible, but they were so good. They'd have games that they would win.
Your high school program was terrible?
77 to like 50, and they'd have every single point. And one of them ended up playing.
How tall were they?
One of them was like a guard. One of them was probably like 5'8", and one of them was probably closer to like 6 feet, maybe.
Oh,
or
so
not
they
even.
had straight skills.
Yeah, they were really good.
Okay, but
and one of them ended up playing for the Sun. Or she got drafted. I don't know how much she played, but I was at the casino once with my friends, and I just saw her like walking around in like flip flops in the casino. So I'm like, I'm pretty sure she lives here.
Did you say what up?
No, she wouldn't have remembered it.
Wait, where did she go to college though? Or she just go
Not
straight
a big
to
school.
the leagues?
No, not a big
Straight
school
to
like
the league.
Wagner or something. Or I don't know. Or Franklin and Marshall, I think.
Oh,
Franklin and Marshall.
Franklin Marshall, that's a D3. She went from
Franklin
D3 to
Franklin
the
Pierce, is that
Connecticut
one
Sun?
too?
Oh, that sounds like
It wasn't a
an
big school.
Australian university.
But
Franklin Pierce.
but
that
a lot
was
of
like English.
a lot of WNBA players don't go to like huge schools.
Is that true?
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
Or they go to UConn. They go to like UConn,
Yeah,
Baylor,
exactly.
Duke, or Franklin and Pierce in in Australia. Pat, have you been watching anything interesting on the tube or what, man? I got to tell you, a show that I just started that I guarantee people watching, listening, and yourself have watched before.
On TV?
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't really been watching anything. I don't think. No.
What do you mean? No Netflix? You ain't got time
Not
for that?
really. No.
Dude, I started watching The Office. You ever seen this show?
Of course.
I'm 4 seasons in.
You're about 20 years late.
about 3 weeks ago I started. This is a great show. I mean, people have been telling me that The Office is a great
You
show.
show up to parties like, you guys know who Michael Scott is?
For such a long time. The show came out in 2005. I got on it literally in the end of August. And it's funny, man, because my day job, I feel like my boss is a little bit like Michael Scott, and I myself feel like Jim. It's weird, man. Like watching them, like my
I'm sure
sister,
so many people say that.
But my sister
I'm
even
so
said,
Jim.
and my sister even said the same thing, dude. Well, because I work in a family office, so
Yeah.
you know Michael Scott. You know what I mean?
Well, they don't work in a
would
family
be my
office.
dad. Yeah, but that's the vibe I feel, man. Just Jim having to just do whatever Michael Scott says because he's superior, and you know whatever Michael Scott seems like a nice guy, and I do giggle quite a bit when I watch that show. I never would have thought that I would giggle as much as I do, but I've been giggling quite.
It's a great show.
Bit. It is very nice. So, Pat, coronavirus still happening. Cough, cough. Thanksgiving Day parade at the end of November. Have you ever been to that?
No,
On Central Park West?
I have not.
It's actually pretty cool.
I've
They have
watched
like
it on TV.
all these freaking floats from like cartoons. I don't know what company exactly throws it on. Macy's. Freaking throws it on. Duh. The Macy's Thanksgiving parade is going virtual for the first time. And I don't know what the hell that really means, besides the fact that maybe they won't allow people on the streets on the side, which is actually a good call because like people come out to the Macy's holiday Thanksgiving Day parade in thousands, in droves.
I've seen them like, what's it called? Not auditioning, rehearsing for it. I've been over there it was the night before or 2 nights before, and it was late. It was like 11 o'clock and it was so cold out. And they were just like dancing in the street, preparing.
I mean, they've had some huge issues in the past with like weather, like wind, and like Garfield going through midtown buildings. But I'd just be interested to see how it's going to happen virtually. Maybe they're going to go down a street in like Westchester or something. Like, I don't know how this is going to work virtually.
Let's just go down the East River.
Oh, like your
Doing
boy,
boats,
like your
like-
boy David Blaine.
Johnny Blaine.
Like you said East River though. He went on the Hudson River.
He was supposed to go on the Hudson
He was
River,
supposed to go on the Hudson
Yeah.
River, but then he did that Ascension thing in Arizona. If you guys didn't see that,
Which you
check
don't
that
think
out.
really happened.
That was actually cool. I don't think
You're
this
one of the
thing
great
happened.
skeptics.
Yeah, one of the bigger skeptics of David Blaine's Ascension, where David Blaine was 24,000.
You're so brave.
900 feet in the air, just holding on to a string, and then his daughter before he went up was like, oh, crossing her fingers, like, oh, daddy, I hope you don't die. You know, it was too set up for me. It was too Hollywood. David Blaine, big Hollywood guy.
You would have just rather him
I
like
don't know.
pull some balloons out of his closet
Yeah,
and
dude, that
go off
would've-
the top
that-
of his roof.
At least I would have known that was real. Like David Blaine in that ice box in Times Square 15 years ago for however many days. You remember when he did that too?
Yeah.
He was living in a brick of ice. So I don't know whether it's just his mind is super strong. He's got a powerful mind like your boy Houdini, or it's all fake. But I don't know. I feel the same way about Chris Angel. I'm a skeptic of magicians, man.
Yeah, well, it's not real. But his
How does that work? How is it
well,
not
no, you mean
real?
like card tricks aren't real, like not
No,
real
no, no, but
magic.
I'm
But
not
his
even
stuff
talking about-
are
I'm
like
not
feats.
talking about-
They're
but-
feats of endurance.
Right,
I
but
would
I'm
say,
not talking about
magic.
like Chris Angel doesn't do
Chris
card tricks.
Angels is.
Like, how did he levitate on the pyramid?
Yeah, he
in
does all
Vegas?
his shit is fake. It's so obvious it's fake on TV. It looks like CGI,
What's CGI?
computer generated imagery.
Oh, see, I didn't even know that was like a full thing. So you mean like green screen?
Yeah, like green
essentially?
screen and shit. And his stuff is like legit fake. It's kind of cringy to watch. David Blaine really.
I also haven't heard from
You could
Chris
go to
Angel in a long
London.
time.
You could go to London and see him in the box, like
I
suspended
wish
over
I was.
London.
What? I wish I was at that balloon thing. Next time you hear he's doing a stunt, if you know Can you just
I'll
let
hit
your
you
boy?
up.
Yeah, let your boy Ted Jones.
Sure,
No,
I'll
just
let you know.
any week will do, man. I'll see you every week until that happens. I guess this is like sports news, but literally, what the hell? I'm not sure if you heard this. Logan Paul, you hear about this? Logan Paul,
No.
dude, and Floyd Mayweather are going to be boxing
That's
each
so
other.
lame. Enough.
How much are they both gonna get? I don't know, but
That's
this
so
guy,
dumb.
what's his podcast
Well, isn't the
called?
brother-
The Impulsive
Yeah.
podcast?
Isn't the brother the younger brother?
Jake
Paul
Paul?
was
I
supposed
guess
to
they're
fight
both boxing.
Nate Robinson.
No, didn't Jake Paul
The
fought
undercard.
KSI?
I know, but he was supposed to be the undercard for the Mike Tyson, was it Roy Jones Jr. fight?
And the undercard.
And it was- he
what
was-
is the undercard?
The undercard
like
is
the
just-
match before.
Yeah, the match before it.
Right, they have like a few boxing matches.
The bout, if you will, if we're using boxing terms, the bout
Nice.
before it. And he was supposed to fight Nate Robinson.
Whatever happened with that? That just
It got postponed because of Corona.
But I can't imagine that this is going to work out. Like, how is this contract going to work out logistically? Just
I don't
because
know, you just
Floyd
sign it.
Mayweather, yeah, but true. But Floyd,
You have people who
but dude, Floyd
write it up.
Mayweather is going to be asking for $200 million for this fight. How much is Logan Paul going to be asking for? You can't expect to pay this kid $50 million. Can you
Yeah, you
fucking
probably
really
could.
pay this kid $50
Yeah, why
million?
not? If people are gonna watch it,
Bro,
sure.
I believe it or not would
Supply
fight
and
you for
demand.
$50 million. Yeah, I guess you're right. But I don't know.
It's so
We'll see.
dumb.
It's
Well,
gonna
first
be
of
like,
all,
he has to come down
there-
to his weight class.
I was gonna say Logan Paul's like 6'4", and he's like 220.
Yeah.
And
No,
Floyd
Logan Paul's
Mayweather is
definitely
tiny.
6'3", 6'4".
Yeah,
And
he's a
Floyd
big guy.
Mayweather's Logan Paul is just not going to eat. He's going to go fasting for 3 months.
He's like
the
just
boys.
naturally a big guy. I bet you he's 200 pounds at least.
But I can't imagine.
How is he
going
going to get down to like 130?
Dude,
Isn't
I
that
don't
what
know.
Floyd
I don't
Mayweather
know.
is? Fights
So
at?
everybody, stay tuned. Stay posted on what is going to happen in this Logan Paul.
I don't understand the whole
fight. I don't
YouTube
get it.
boxer thing. Why are they all of a sudden they're all boxers and they get to fight the greatest fighters of all time? I don't understand that.
I think it's
What
just
is-
that I don't know, man. It's
Why
just
boxing?
It's just social media, and then anything that you can do like one-on-one. Like if they had a freestyle battle, I bet that would do pretty well too. A tennis match, maybe a golf off.
A golf outing?
Yeah, something that's just like I don't know. I guess for the most part, one-on-one.
Well, I thought the brother was in jail for they found a bunch of guns in his house. Like
I saw
his
that
house
too.
got raided by the FBI.
Jake Paul's house got raided by the FBI, right? And they found like the super intense guns, like AK-47s and such.
Yeah, weird.
It's not good. No guns in this house. No guns in the studio. But hey, don't trespass. Oh my God, dude, I didn't even tell you. This morning, I'm getting ready for my day job. I got my door unlocked because my cleaning lady was going to come like an hour after I left, whatever. So I'm getting ready. And then all of a sudden, dude, my door opens. I just see this guy, this short guy, and he goes, "Oh, I'm so sorry." I freak the fuck out. My heart dropped into my stomach. I felt like my stomach was gonna come out of my ass. Literally, like this guy. I checked on because I have the camera downstairs.
Oh, you're going like this? I thought you said I
on
have
my
a
phone.
shotgun.
Yeah, I had pulled out my shotgun. No, but this guy
head
was just
eraser.
doing work on the restaurant downstairs. But honestly, I've never frozen like that harder in my life. I also had all my electronics out here, and if that guy didn't make a mistake and just walk in here, people would have taken all the gear, the camera you're watching from, the board you're listening to this on. Pat, you want to press one of those soundboards? Now that we got it back, you want to mix it with a sound? Oh, look at that. Yep, we got the soundboard back. But seriously, if you guys have your electronics in your apartment and somebody needs to get into your apartment later, you don't have a doorman or whatever, I just strongly suggest you leaving a hide key. Because as soon as that fucking happened, I made sure I locked my door and I got my extra key and I hid it just right outside the door so you couldn't really see it. But still, I recommend locking your door. It's not that safe out there, Pat. Have you ever had any scares like this?
Well,
when anyone
actually,
walked into your apartment.
Funny you say that because, well, this isn't an apartment story, but right before I came here, I drove here. I was at home at my parents in Connecticut, and I drove in tonight, and I parked my car, and I had my laptop, and I was getting all the stuff out of my car, and I put my laptop on top of my car for a second, and someone could easily just ride by on a bike. That happens all the time. People like ride by and snatch people's phones out of their hands. I saw it. I saw that right outside of my apartment. Some girl was walking. It was probably 9 o'clock at night. I thought this only happened in movies. I'm going to talk about it on the podcast, but some guy came by, grabbed her cell phone, ran down the street, or her pocket, or her bag, or something, and she was like, "Hey!" She's screaming like, "He stole my phone!"
And you
He stole
ran
my
after
phone."
him?
No. These two like burly boys ran after him. Like a bunch of people were running, like some guy, like some hero. After they had like already got him, this guy comes like running up. But I saw the guy, so he's running up Mulberry Street and he's like dodging. He's like, people are trying to grab him and he's dodging people. He was probably a teenager or maybe like in his 20s. He wasn't old.
When was this? Pretty recently?
It was over the winter.
Okay.
And and he was dodging people and two guys got him and grabbed him and got the wallet or phone, whatever it was, and he ran off and she got her stuff back. That's crazy.
Yeah, dude. The only time I've really fully seen that was in Mr. Deeds when Adam Sandler set up the guy to rob, or no, Winona Ryder set up the guy to get robbed, and then Adam Sandler beat the crap.
But yeah,
out
someone
of
could just like swipe your shit right off your.
I've also thought about that before, like holding out my phone like while I'm walking.
It happens
I've
all the time.
thought about somebody just
not so much in New York,
running.
but in other countries, I know it happens all the time. People come up on mopeds.
Yeah, pickpocketers are sick in other countries. Like they'll have their boy to talk to you and ask about directions. Yeah. While they're like, sneakily put their two fingers in your back pocket.
Yeah.
It's pretty sneaky.
It is.
People
have you ever been picked?
People do what you got to do.
Have you ever gotten anything like stolen off your person?
No, dude. But I was actually, my mom brought up this story. This is such.
I feel like New York parents always are like, watch your back. Don't put anything in your back pockets growing up.
Literally. All right. So. Okay, so this is a semi-long story, but I guess it's a
we got nothing but time.
Story. Yeah, exactly. So they had this day at my old school called like Me Box Day, where you bring in a shoebox and you put in like all the things that meant something important to you. So in my Me Box, I had like a baseball, I had a tennis ball, I had like a little thing
nudie
from
magazines
my
you hide from
bar
your
mitzvah.
parents.
I had some nudie magazines. No, I had like a lot of cool little knickknacks in there.
Yeah.
Trinkets, sure, as they'd say. So I did my presentation, whatever, and then my boy is across the room from me, and he's like making faces at me, like sticking his tongue out,
Trying
like
to make
classic,
you giggle.
yes, classic 6th grade BS. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I take my tennis ball and I fire it at him across the room.
While you're doing the little presentation?
No. This is after I was done with my. I did a good job of my Me Box presentation, obviously.
Nice.
So fired it at him, almost hit him in the head, and then the teacher, I think her name was Margot at the time. She was like, "Teddy, what was that? Go to the principal's office." So I was like befuddled with myself. I was like, "Well, Xander was across the room making faces at me, like it was his fault." So this is right before school ended. Anyway, this is at like 2:55. I go to the principal's office. She keeps me at this isn't even the principal who I go to see. I go see the assistant principal. I'm going to name names because I don't like this lady. Zenny was the assistant principal. She kept me at her office until 3:20. I had a tutor almost every single day after school because I didn't do so well in middle school. I sucked at reading comprehension.
I had tutors.
And math, but I had it like almost every day, dude.
Yeah,
so I'm supposed to see Joy at 3:10 because I get out of school at 3 o'clock, and I just usually skateboarded right around the corner.
Nice, dude.
Right around the corner, dude.
Tight.
I have my skateboard behind the mirror back there. You got to do some ollies on that or something, Pat.
All right,
anyway, regardless, so I show up. I'm walking around the corner, and I'm super upset. I didn't want to admit why I had been late to Joy. I saw my mom and Joy talking like way ahead, like 100 feet in front of me, or like 200 feet in front of me, in front of my house. They're talking, whatever. And right before I had seen them, like right before I came around the bend, I took my Me Box, dude, and I threw it in a trash can. And I lied, and I said that I was mugged.
Oh, you told me this.
I said I was mugged, dude.
Yeah.
So I lied because I was so upset that Zenny was such a bitch to me. And then the entire school, and like for 5 years, like the school changed their entire program to make sure that like the schools around them had like were on high alert that their kids were mugging the kids from my school. So letters were sent out to thousands of people.
Wait, when did you tell your
neighborhood?
I'll let you finish.
Well, to thousands of people in the neighborhood, and then from that point forward, like till today, dude, this is like how old am I? This is like 16 years ago when I lied about this. To this day, they still have chaperones like on the corners of this school,
so
making
the school
sure
still
that
doesn't
other
know
schools
it was
don't
lie?
mug other students. No, the school doesn't know.
But your parents know.
I lied, but my parents.
When did you
know.
tell your parents?
I told my parents when I graduated from college that I lied about that story. They were talking about. They were like, my mom was like, "Oh yeah, Teddy, like that time you got mugged." And it's like I was getting out of
Did
the
they
car.
maybe have a feeling that you didn't actually get
Mom,
mugged?
you know, I actually lied about that story. Yeah, you know what? No, dude. Everyone thought that story was real because I played it so well, and and kids had been mugged before by the the quote unquote bad school down the street.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like the first time this happened. And the rumor that got started, this girl saw me in the principal's office while I was like crying. And this was after the fact. So I was in the assistant principal's office, went home for 30 minutes, said I got mugged when really I just threw my me box in the trash. And then it was found later by like school administrative people. And
they're
like,
probably just like the kid found it and threw it in the trash.
Exactly, because it was like there's nothing in the box. There's no shoes because they thought there were Nike shoes in the box.
Oh, yeah.
So they saw me crying in the actual principal's office like at 4 p.m. that same day. And a girl saw me in there and she started spreading the rumor. She was like, oh, Teddy got shot. So, dude, literally went to school the next morning. It was a full legend. And I don't think anyone, maybe there's like a handful of people besides my parents who know I lied about that story. But honestly, I ensured the safety of a ton of kids going forward. I feel bad about lying about that. I'm not typically a liar about getting mugged. I know how serious getting mugged is. I know people who have been mugged, and it's a terrifying experience. I imagine it's just as terrifying as a contractor barging into your apartment when you have electronics all over the place. But that was quite the lie I got myself wrapped up in. I don't know where that fully came from.
That was a long story.
What that branched off of.
Yeah, what did that branch off? Yeah, I don't know.
But that was
breaking and entering, getting mugged.
Yeah, but that was an interesting time for me, man. I tell you, I've had a lot of interesting.
Well, I'm
times.
glad we can laugh about it now.
Yeah, I guess we can.
Rest in peace, the me box.
Yeah, and you know what? If Bo Lauder is listening, Bo, I won't say word the principal. Excuse me, what principal? What school you were the principal of? But anyone who knows Bo Lauder as their principal will know what school I am referring to. So anyway, if people want to know where I am. In the office. Can I spoil the office kind of? I guess people know the story. I can't like spoil the office by telling them what part I'm at.
It's not really. I mean, you could.
It's not spoilable.
It's not the show isn't really that plot driven, so you can pick it up anywhere.
Right,
really.
right. I agree. But I do feel like going from episode to episode, I have like some of a storyline. Like,
well, there is.
Yeah, they'll mention like they'll mention a part from a previous season or mention a part from like the episode before, but not always. So Jim just proposed to Pam in the rain at a gas station. Yep. So I'm very pumped.
And, I didn't finish the whole series.
That's great. I mean, it's 9 seasons.
Yeah,
dude.
I got
I'm
sick
almost
of it.
halfway. When did you get sick of it?
When?
Yeah.
I think
or I guess I'm the season
whenever
5, episode 1.
After what's it called? What's his name? Will Ferrell was like the boss for a little while.
Will Ferrell becomes the boss?
Yeah, D'Angelo Vickers.
Well, when I said you couldn't spoil it, I guess you did just spoil it because I had no idea.
What's his name too? Idris Elba is the boss for a little while.
Dude, all right, enough. You're actually spoiling all this for me. I had no idea. Pat, new gaming system coming out. I know you're not much of a gamer, but I feel like you played Xbox and PlayStation in college, didn't you?
Not in college.
At SAE when you went to URI. No, I forget. I forget that you transferred after 1 year. Why did you transfer from URI to UConn?
I just didn't like it.
But you liked UConn?
Yeah.
What was the difference?
URI,
they're both very suburban and nothing to do.
URI is
University of Rhode Island.
Yeah, it's hard to explain. It's just not as good. First of all, it's not as good of a school, and second of all, UConn has more of a. URI is like a big commuter school. Right. It's not really like the college, and everyone's from Rhode Island. There's a lot of people from Connecticut at UConn, but I think less so.
Right, and I feel like if you're
everyone knew each other at URI,
right,
because it's a small state too.
And if you're from Connecticut and you went to URI, chances are, no offense, chances are you probably just didn't get into UConn right away. Right?
No, I didn't get into UConn right away.
Well, there you
I
go.
got into like a different campus, which is crazy because I went to private school. I got good grades, and
yeah, dude, you seem like a smart kid to me.
Yeah, thanks. Well,
well, at least
but I got there.
Yes, dude, exactly. You got there. You got.
It was so URI was so
easy.
easy. It was crazy. I would go. I got straight A. I got like a 3.8 at URI, and I don't know. The classes were just.
So
really
why
easy.
did you go to UConn if you got a 3.8?
I didn't feel like.
Oh, and also it's cheap.
Yeah, it's cheap.
In-state.
Yeah, it's in-state cheap. I remember my the first. It was like a creative writing class or some kind of writing class, and I remember we wrote papers, and the teacher basically like after we handed them in the next day, she was basically yelled at us. She was like, "These were so fucking bad." She didn't say it like that, but she was basically like saying, "You guys are all trash." And then she like pulled me aside afterwards and was like, "I didn't mean that about you. Yours was so good." Blah blah blah.
Yeah, right,
she,
dude.
Like,
You're just a
like,
tall
told me
glass
to
of water, dude.
She just
You're
told
just
me
a tall,
to.
handsome
She like
guy.
referred me to be a writing tutor.
What?
And I noticed everyone would like sleep in class at URI. And then when I got to UConn the first day of class in the big auditorium, I would look around. I was like, "Shit, no one's sleeping. Like I can't sleep."
Shut
like,
up.
People actually cared a little bit about their.
That's so squidge. People just normally slept.
No
in
offense,
class.
URI, but it's just not. It's not a great school.
No
It's not
offense,
a bad school.
but you just.
But
I mean, you shouldn't be sleeping in class.
in their sports,
It's either you don't go to class or you go to class. You don't fucking sleep in class.
yeah, you just don't go to class if you're gonna sleep. That's like the
Literally.
guilt. It's like, oh, I gotta go to class just because you feel guilty not going, but then you go and don't pay attention.
Yeah, I feel you. So off of that tangent, we were just talking about URI, Xbox and PS5 coming out in November, towards the latter part of November. Did you ever mess with either one of them?
In high school, I played Call of Duty a lot.
I was a PlayStation guy. I played Grand Theft Auto always. Would take my helicopter to the Empire State Building and then just jump out.
Yeah, my parents didn't let me get it, and like
What, Grand Theft Auto?
yeah, so I would have to borrow it from friends, or I think eventually when I turned 18, I bought it
Wait,
at Stop and Shop. Stop and Shop used to sell video games.
At GameStop?
No, Stop and Shop, like
Really?
the grocery store. Yeah.
Like Walmart vibe?
Yeah, kinda. But this is like a legit grocery store.
Do they still sell that? 'Cause
No.
there's like a Stop and Shop in Long Island. I didn't see that.
No,
They don't
used
even need
sell.
to. They're killing it.
What?
Well, because it's COVID. They're
Yeah.
killing it.
Yeah, but yeah, and then I played the first. I had N64, and then I had GameCube.
Yes.
I don't know why. My friends were like big into anime and like
GameCube was
all,
awful.
all that kind of Nintendo like Japanese stuff.
Uh-huh.
So I got that. It was just cool. But then I got PlayStation, and then I went to Xbox.
Yeah, I
And
feel
that's
like
the
it
last thing I had was an Xbox 360.
Me too. That was actually the last thing I had. I don't know. I'd be down to play PlayStation or Xbox. I just like, dude. I feel like none of our friends even have that anymore. It's
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
It's such a
No.
time, dude. That
I don't wanna
takes
get
up
addicted to
so
it.
much time.
I was gonna do it when
even like
we were in
Dynasty
lockdown.
mode in 2K. Like, forget about it.
I was gonna get an Xbox just to play like a little Call of Duty.
remember
but I was
you were
like, I'll
talking
get
about
hooked on
that.
it, and then
Yeah,
or
and
I'll
then-
buy it and play it once and
dude,
never play it again.
And then the next thing you know, you got the headset going.
yeah.
And then you get the game chair.
Yeah,
And
the little like
yes, and
fighter
then,
jet chair.
Like next thing you know, you're just fully.
My mom's
addicted to
delivering
the
me
game.
Mountain Dew Code Red.
Oh
Here you
my
go.
god, dude! Did you see Red Lobster and Mountain Dew are combining together to make a Dew margarita, a Mountain Dew margarita?
And Red Lobster,
Yes.
and it's gonna be like sold in stores.
I don't know.
Serving
Can you
it
just
at-
keep talking while I make sure that that's Red
Sure.
Lobster?
Yeah, I don't. Would they be selling it in stores or at Red Lobster?
No. Can you imagine?
This is
if
like
they
the best
sold that in
collabs.
stores?
This is like the best collab since Cactus Jack McDonald's.
Have you had that, by the way, yet?
No,
Is it
I'm gonna
sold
get one,
out
though.
in New York? What is it exactly?
It's just they can't sell out of it. It's just a cheeseburger with bacon on it. It's a cheeseburger with bacon and then fries with barbecue sauce.
Yeah,
It's
bro.
$6.
Excuse me. Sorry. Red Lobster's new Dew Garita. It's called a Dew Garita, dude.
That's disgusting.
Oh my god, that sounds like a heart attack.
So it's just
in
Mountain Dew with
a
tequila in it?
drink. Yeah, I guess so. And that sounds gnarly. So wait, what is the Travis Scott burger? Everyone's been bugging out over it.
It's just a quarter pounder
Bacon.
with bacon and a Sprite, and you get French fries with barbecue sauce, and it's $6. It's just like a cheaper meal.
I'm confused as to why
That's
they
it.
didn't have like an action figure of him.
Yeah, they don't.
Or
Well, then they
don't
sold a
have
bunch
any-
of merch.
Or they don't have any like sound effects on the French fries. It's
Or
lit.
they don't even have like special packaging
You
for
open it up. Welcome.
it. I've seen people like framing as a joke, like framing the receipt.
Also, dude, it's on eBay for like some of
Yeah.
those meals are on eBay for hundreds of bucks. No, I saw one for
believe you.
$1,000 too.
Yeah, I believe you. That's funny.
It's literally nuts.
That's such a sellout thing. To
people.
do.
I mean, people do what? People do love your boy Travis Scott. It's crazy.
Yeah, and just be a little responsible. Like, don't do. People are trying to be healthier in this day and age. What are you gonna go?
Do you see
Dude,
NLE Choppa? This like rapper is a super young dude was talking about how that McDonald's messes up your chakra. I have to agree with
Sure
him.
does.
I do have to agree with him. I mean, he does say some crazy shit. This guy NLE Choppa, he's like a young rap. Have you heard of him?
No.
He's like a young, I want to say kind of like trap beat kind of artist.
Yeah.
But he just says a lot of interesting shit on Twitter. A lot of it I don't think really makes much sense. He says that Donald Trump is already going to win the election and we don't even have a chance.
Mhm.
And that we will never have another president. So I think he's implying that the world's going to end in 2024.
Or we're just gonna enter a dictatorship.
Yeah, or just
That'd
Donald.
be
Or Donald Trump is just going to mess everything up. But hey, he's never messed up anything before, so I don't know if he's going to mess anything up now. So New York City news: New York City's public schools will have no snow days this year, Pat. That is messed up if I had my say.
Because they got so much time off.
Yeah, but like, how does that even work? So no matter what, torrential snowfall, you're just going to have to pick up and move and get to school. Unless you get mugged, then we have something to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, you got to go to school.
How were you able to get to school? Like, how did you get to school in high school and middle school? Did you drive? Your parents drive you, or you have a yellow school bus?
No, my dad drove me every morning. My mom would pick me up in the afternoon. It was like only 10 minutes from my house. It wasn't like a crazy. My dad would drop me off on the way to work, and my mom would come get me on the way home.
Right.
But
how far is 10 minutes though where you're from?
What do you mean? How far is 10 minutes?
Like, is that 2
How many
miles? You know what I mean?
I don't know. Just like it's probably
because 10 minutes in New York
4 or
is
5
like
miles.
6 blocks.
4 or 5 miles. Maybe.
Yeah.
No, it's not far.
So you couldn't jog it out. You could
No, it'd be
potentially.
really, really
If your
far.
dad was pissed at you. Your mom wasn't picking you up. If you lied
Maybe it was
about,
more than 4 or 5
if you
miles.
lied about getting mugged or something.
But it was a boarding school, so we didn't have a lot of snow days.
Yeah,
Because,
but weren't you? But you went back and forth.
Yeah, but they wouldn't cancel because the people who were paying a lot of money to go to school and living there, they're like, they might as well just. There were snow days. It was really bad, but less than public schools.
Right. So we'll see. Hopefully this doesn't jam any of you high schoolers and middle schoolers listening. Good luck, guys. But all the students at Michigan State, you should be thankful you don't go to school here, have been asked to quarantine because of the out of control numbers due to coronavirus. So this is the entire university, dude. We're talking about thousands of kids. We're talking about 80,000 plus kids are asked to quarantine. I don't even know what to say. CDC came out and said that masks are likely going to be more effective than the vaccine itself. Do you read this?
No.
I didn't read it. I saw it on IG.
I thought masks don't work.
We'll see. But who said that?
I don't know.
You yourself?
No, I didn't say that.
You know what?
There's a big argument that they don't work.
Right,
Yeah, no one knows what the hell's going on.
Yeah, true. But at the same time, I'm seeing for myself, or I myself believe that as long as two people have a mask on and they're talking to each other, like you and I right now, coronavirus can't be spread.
It's probably not likely, yeah.
Or like the percentage is super low.
I saw this video, speaking of college campuses, there was a video on, I don't know where it was, on Twitter or something, and this cop came to break up this party, basically, because they're supposed to be distancing or whatever, and the kid came out, and he was like,
I did see that.
The cop was like,
that's just at Miami University in Ohio.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So he was like, you're not supposed to be having people over, and he was like, I just ran your name, and I guess it shows that he was tested positive for coronavirus. He's like, so you have coronavirus, and you just had all these people over, and he's like, yeah.
He goes, you had coronavirus. He's like, yeah.
And then they're like, and he's like, yeah, everyone here does. And he was like, so all of you have coronavirus, and you just had all these people over. And the kid's like, yeah. And he was like, he's like, Jesus, dude. He didn't even know what the cop was like, oh my God, what are you doing?
You're
really he wasn't even mad at him.
He's like, you're really not supposed to do that.
Yeah.
That is extremely
He's like, those people across the street, we all have corona.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
My sister's sorority is quarantining right now. So going to college during this time,
your sister graduated.
Not only her sorority.
That she is still there.
Yes, sorority that is still there. But going to college right now is expensive and dangerous, it seems. But Trump thinks, coronavirus is on its way out. Donald Trump had an indoor rally in Nevada where a light 6,000 people joined together, and the governor of Nevada was really not fired up. Did you see this?
No.
Just Trump had an indoor rally. The seats were tied together. And it looked great. What are you looking on your phone?
Can we play the thing where he's talking about the wildfires?
Trump?
Yeah.
When he says that it'll go out?
No, because he's saying it's because there's leaves everywhere in California and they're not cleaning up the leaves.
Play it.
Oh my God, it's so funny. It might be like a supercut. Maybe someone chopped it up, but all right. So yeah, I'm going to play this. This is Donald Trump talking about basically why California is having wildfires. Here we go.
This week in California, there were rolling blackouts because the radical Democrats have mandated impossible restrictions on energy production. And I see again the forest fires are starting. They're starting again in California. I said, you got to clean your floors, you got to clean your forests. They have many, many years of leaves and broken trees. And they're like so flammable. I've been telling them this now for 3 years, but they don't want to listen. The environment. But they have massive fires again in California. Maybe we're just going to have to make them pay for it because they don't listen to us. We say you got to get rid of the leaves, you got to get rid of the debris, you got to get rid of the fallen trees. You know, when a tree falls, after 13 to 14 months, it becomes extremely dry. You look at some of these fires.
All right.
Listen.
Trees are growing because they're wet. The water's pouring up the tree. And they just don't want to listen. They mocked us when I said that. You got to clean your floors.
He starts comparing it to other states who
Clean
have a
your
lot of
floors.
trees. Hold on.
And they have many, many years, decades of leaves, dry leaves and everything. That's why they have it. There are other places, forest cities. They were
Forest cities.
developed in forests, and they don't have any problem with more flammable trees than you have in California, but they just don't want to do it. Senior citizens were forced to
Wait, he's saying that other
Forest
places
cities.
that the forest cities that have been developed in the middle of forests aren't flammable because they do a good job raking their leaves.
Yeah.
All right, well, I suppose that could be valid. Pat, episode 55, we have been in studio for about an hour now, man, and this is great. The first time we've been back in how many episodes? This is 55. The last episode we were here was episode 29, and Pat, guess what? I have a date tomorrow night, believe it or not. I do have a date. You thought it was tonight. Had to correct you. It's tomorrow night. And I've actually talked about this specific person before on the pod. Do you remember episode 14?
No.
The episode, it's called, I'm sure you
surely
actually
don't.
do, but you don't remember
No,
what it's called. Correct?
Yeah.
The 14th episode was called I Love You. Is that weird? This is
Yeah, I
when
remember that.
I met a girl at one of my boys' weddings, Ricky Velez, who was actually on episode 20 of the Ted Jones World podcast.
Her?
Yes, there you go. So I do have a date with this girl from episode 14 who I was talking about. She's a mini celeb. I'd say I'm definitely not.
She was just in
saying
a
her
hit
name.
movie, no?
Yeah, I'm definitely not saying her name on the podcast. So that'd be
You've been
super
trying for that
embarrassing,
one.
but she'll know exactly that I'm talking about her.
Yeah.
If she listened to all 50 plus,
I'm sure
minutes
she
of
has.
this,
I'm sure she's
has.
listened to every
So now-
episode.
well, hopefully we're not putting this out before our date tomorrow, and we put it after post date.
Yeah.
And then I'll just let you know how it is, so she won't know.
No pressure.
We're talking about, but dude, we're going to Lady Bird. You ever heard of Lady Bird?
I don't think so.
7th Street between First and A, vegetarian, vegan
I'll
vibe.
come, I'll swing by.
I walked by the other day. It's at 8 p.m. tomorrow. So if you guys
Okay, I'll
would
swing
like,
by.
and everyone who's listening, you just go back in time one day,
Yeah.
and then you can come check it out and see who I'm going on this date with. But we'll see. It's definitely a unique type of date. In that I mean that I've never dated this type of. I don't know. This sounds weird, but like I've never dated this type of girl before.
Okay.
And that maybe in like an entertainment actress industry type.
No, you
So
have.
we'll see.
Maybe not in a long time.
Yeah, maybe not in a long time or nothing that I'm thinking of
Yeah.
off the top of my head. But I'm
Like
very
I'm acting like I
excited.
know you people who
No,
you've dated.
well, you
I
have.
don't.
You have.
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah, you have. But dude, I'm.
Well, yeah,
I'm-
so you
I'm-
definitely
I'm pretty nervous, dude. Should I take a shot before the date tomorrow? I haven't taken a shot before a date.
You're not an
since
alcohol
the
guy,
last
so
date
probably
I
not.
had.
Probably
Huh?
not. Well, oh, you do. That's a
Probably
thing.
not
I used to
what?
do that, not anymore though.
You don't.
Taking shots. No, you just kind of push through it.
Well,
Sorry, I'm making noise.
yeah, you are making a little noise. Pat's making a little nervous noise over here. Pat, is there anything else you want to talk about before we wrap up this amazing studio episode? We're back in the studio. This is where it's going to be at now. We're no longer at our parents' house, and I am excited, man.
Well, I'm still back and forth, but I'll have to come treacher
You'll
into the
have
city.
to. You'll have
for
to
the show.
treacher in. You have to treacher in the city.
Treacher,
man.
I don't think is a word. I
Bring
just made that up.
What
but
is that word? No, that word. I think
treacherous.
I thought yeah, but that's
was-
a bad word. Treacher, I didn't even think was the
Treacherous.
short version of treacherous.
Or
But
maybe it
treacherous
is.
implies that you don't want to, or it's
Drudge.
dangerous.
Schlep
Like
into
getting,
the city.
like getting mugged.
Right.
Some dangerous shit like that. Episode 55. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. Thank you so much for watching. And the boys are freaking back. Pat, high five or air five.
Up high.
Elbow touch.
Up high.
Up
Down
high.
low.
Down low.
Elbow.
Who?
We'll see you guys later.
Thank you so much. Goodbye.